This formula of working hard, does it still work or it's falling apart a bit?
Do I have to go through sacrificing all of my life and my personality as well to build that career when I quit my job to figure this out?
In Dubai, maybe you work, and then about 65, you just lose your visa.
People who are 50, 60, they have millions on their bank accounts. Yet, they don't know what to do, with who to share that.
At the end of the day, it's only up to you what you're gonna have and achieve, right?
I became CFO by the age of 26. I had everything that everyone wanted and I felt so empty. You will get money, and then what?
I was always thinking, why don't I care about money?
The higher the title, the lower the self-esteem. What does that mean? You want to be a CEO? For what reason?
I want to be great mother.
You think you're a great mom, but then you start comparing with other people, and then you start feeling guilt.
They say there's more and more unhappy people in this world.
More burnout.
Burnouts, depression. Why is that?
Because we haven't been told how to define what do we really want.
Gen Z, we can't understand them. They don't want to wake up at 7 a.m.
They don't want to work.
They're okay to just leave and say, sorry, I had a panic attack.
How can you make great decisions for yourself and become the person that you want to become? If you're like this and everything is terrible, AI is bad and everyone is terrible and I need to work and I need to make money, how?
You've said just define who you are, but is there anything that we could do tomorrow? Hi guys, welcome to a new episode of Mastervision Podcast, where we discuss the future, get inspired by the future to build successful businesses and lives today. According to Oxford Dictionary, the word mindset is a set of attitudes or fixed ideas that somebody has and that are often difficult to change. For decades, many leaders have the same mindset: work hard, push longer, and success will come. But what about today? This formula of working hard, does it still work or it's falling apart a bit? Because I see a lot of leaders, my friends and my network, who are absolutely burned out. They have challenges of hiring new Generation Z. They have challenges of motivating them. And a lot of them are very disappointed. Now, I'd like to discuss the mindset today. Mindset of what kind of mindset we need to be successful leaders today and even tomorrow. I know we can't predict. We live in this crazy world now where we cannot predict what will be in 10 years. But at least what we could do is to prepare ourselves. So please welcome my guest, Lucie Lachaux. She is a former CFO and trusted partner to CEOs and top executives. Lucie is the founder of Changing Minds, an advisory firm dedicated to helping leaders turn high-stake moments into growth, impact, and purpose. Lucie, thank you so much.
Hi,
thank
Nina.
you for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
So, do you agree with me a little bit with this introduction that leaders today, the old type of mindset is a little bit killing us?
Yeah, I think time is changing and I think expectations are also different. So there's a lot of change happening. Definitely agree with you. I like your definition of mindset. I also like to say it's like a pair of glasses, you know. You have a pink pair of glasses and everything looks good, or you can put a black pair of glasses and everything is gloomy. So that's really defining as well your mindset and how you look at the situation. So I love it. I really like what you just said and I agree for sure, yes.
So this is not my definition. I took it from Oxford.
But that's good.
I had
took
to
the one
check
that you
before the
picked.
podcast. I was thinking I need to check what I know what it is, but I couldn't define it.
No, it is not a simple thing to explain and to define as well. It's quite new, I think, the concept of mindset. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, please, about yourself first. CFO, and then you left, and now you're helping leaders to change their mindset or to be high performers. Could you tell me your journey? How did that happen?
Yeah, of course. So yes, I used to be a CFO for a French pharmaceutical company. I became CFO by the age of 26, so quite early, and worked in Ireland in their subsidiary. And very fast, my career started growing, and I loved it. I loved the challenge, the fact that you can work in different countries, the hustle, all of that. I do love finance and business, so that was good. But when I came to Dubai by the age of 29. I realized that everything I was doing was working, and all of my identity was my work. Meaning that when I came back home very late, I didn't have anyone around me. I didn't build anything meaningful, and I was just exhausted and tired. But worst out of all of that, I had everything that everyone wanted, and I felt so empty. So yeah, so empty of life, I would say. And because it was a turning point and I was going to turn 30, I thought, is it really the way to make money? Is it really the only way to be wealthy? Do I have to go through sacrificing all of my life and my personality as well to build that career, which is exciting, don't get me wrong? Or is there another way of doing it? And I chose the second one. I chose to believe that there is another way of doing it. And that's why I quit my job to figure this out. I didn't have a plan. I didn't want to become a coach, neither an entrepreneur. I completely thought it was impossible at the time. And yet I jumped. And when I was doing my own research, my own exercises, trying to understand why do I feel that way despite the satisfaction that I should have and the success that I was having, I went into a coaching certification. And that's where I learned about coaching. And that's where I looked around the market in personal development and personal growth. And I realized that there was not a lot of talk about these challenges that we have when we have the ability to get things done, when we have the ability to build a great career. So we are a high performer, yet it is very difficult for us to find satisfaction and meaning in life. And so I started being passionate about this, and I wanted to open my own advisory firm based on that. So everything I do is really working with high performers, influential leaders, CEOs, or business owners who are at a crossroad in their life. Either it's business-wise, which is I need to scale my business, I need to pivot in my business. Either it's personal, I feel like something is off in me, I don't enjoy my life, I'm not excited anymore. Or it can even be a pivot or a reinvention in career. I bring my CFO strategy part in the mix with the business side of things and a lot of mindset and of coaching, obviously.
So if we take the UAE today, Dubai in particular, I would assume I see a lot of leaders here, highly energized, ambitious. A lot of people are moving I've heard the numbers, thousands in September moved here. Very ambitious, full of plans and desires and achievers and achievements. Now, what do you see? What kind of the main challenge people have here? What do you see?
I think it's keeping this spark and this fire up for a long time.
All right.
Keeping that excitement on the long time. Because what happened a lot of time, I guess, it's only from what I see, is that you come here, you're super excited, you have a ton of opportunities. So this is really exciting. You're passionate, you're fiery, you want to eat the world, you want to make money, you have all of that. But then after 1 year, 2 years, what I see is exhaustion, is a lot of people who are very tired. They don't really know what they want anymore. They're missing home, and they didn't build a community where they can feel they can stay here and enjoy here while building a very interesting career. So I think there is that hype, yes, for sure, because the UAE and Dubai, it's an amazing place to be. I mean, who doesn't want to live there? But you have to be careful on how you manage your energy and that hype, because if you don't do that, on the long term, you can lose it all. And you can then not perform at your peak. You can then be too tired to make good decisions. You can be frustrated every day. It can really impact your leadership and your job, I think.
So what would be the reason for it? That we have the ambition. And here I would say, as opposed to Europe, here you can only rely on yourself, right? So government provides you with a safety, beautiful, luxurious environment. But at the end of the day, it's only up to you what you're going to have and achieve, right?
Very true.
And not just even up to you and the market environment also. What do you think is the main reason why is that hype starts high energy and then slows down?
I think because what we do usually when we are ambitious and driven, we're really driven by learning and challenges. So when you have a project at work, you get completely absorbed by it. So you want to be the best, you want to work hard, and it's very exciting. I understand that because I'm the same. I'm sure you are the same. Work can be super excited. What we need to be careful of, and I think this is where maybe the new generation is maybe more conscious of, is that this doesn't feed all your needs. It might feed your needs at a certain point, but after a while, what you will want is legacy. With time, with age, you want legacy. You want people around you. If you're doing everything alone and only focusing on your career, that's great for a period of time. But again, how long can you sustain that? Because there is a moment where you will crave connection. You will crave a nice time at home with maybe your family or a good coffee with friends. And actually, you will need that to fuel yourself so you can even perform better. I think this is where the mix is happening, and then the misunderstanding about high performance is it's not only about achieving, because like if you're ambitious and driven and you are, you really want to learn, you will achieve whatever you put your mind into. But how long can you last in that situation? If you have nothing else and if you only focus on your career, then you might end up at a moment where you're at a crossroad, where you hate your life, you hate your job, and you just crave love and connection. So you want to build a career, you want to learn, you want to be driven without forgetting the other aspect of your life, which are, I think, I would say mandatory if you want to really get to the next level.
So let's define first maybe a high performer. Who is a high performer again? Just to understand that we are on the same page. High performer is...
High performer for me is someone who can achieve goals when they put their mind into it. So someone who will dedicate time, use their resources, and really push through to achieve whatever they want to achieve. That's for me a trait, at least, of a high performer, yeah.
Right. So if I'm a high performer and my let's say goal now is to be super successful in my career and really take my family to the next level, financial and so on.
Yeah.
And I want to put 20 years into that. Hypothetically, it's not me. I'm the opposite now. just to explain. So how does that work then with the idea? I'm a high performer, I'm focused on my work.
Yeah, you can.
What about the rest? You said that if you want to really be a high performer, it's not enough.
If you want to last.
Right.
That is the difference.
Right.
Because you and me or anyone who is a high performer, ambitious, driven, whatever the term is, you can dedicate 3 years, 5 years, 10 years to your career. But the people that I'm meeting have been doing that for the last 10, 15, 20 years. All of that to realize that actually that doesn't provide them the happiness that they were looking for. That doesn't provide them the satisfaction that they were looking for. Yet they are brilliant because they have achieved so much. So it's not only about achieving. Of course, if you have a goal and if you want money, you'll have to work, you'll have to dedicate them to your career, 100%. There are moments where you're going to work so hard and work so much. That's fine, we understand that. But don't forget to add to your goals things that are meaningful to you. Other things that are meaningful to you. Because we need to remember as well that by the age of 60, 65, or maybe by the age of 50, if you made a ton of money, you're retired. So work is not there anymore.
By the age of 50?
Yeah, if it's a goal. If you're very high.
That was the goal before. It seems like it's...
I don't know. But if
in Dubai, maybe you work, and then about 65, you just lose your visa and... No, I don't know if I can say it that openly.
No, but that's everything is up to context, right?
Yes, of
but
course.
There are people who want to retire at 50. I know young people, 28 years, 30 years old. They are telling me, I work so hard. I don't care about relationship. I work so hard because at 50, I want to be done. Good for you. But I am talking today to people who are 50, 60. They have millions on their bank accounts. Yet, they don't know what to do, with who to share that. Like, it's brilliant to have a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against that. I also want a lot of money, but I refused to think that money alone is going to provide me what I'm looking for. So what I think in all the situation, and to answer to your question, if you have that capacity and that skills to be driven and to be ambitious and to perform at maximum when you put your mind into it, a good thing to remind yourself is that this cannot be only the goal. It cannot only come from an external thing, which is money. It has to be, and there has to be another driver into your goal. Providing for your family is a good one. But it can also be different other things that makes that goal not only about money, because you will get money. And then what?
Let's have a hypothetical CEO. Let's say I have a friend in mind. So he is probably 55, very wealthy, for 3 kids. I hope he's not watching.
Well, until then, it's very basic. CEO, 3 kids.
Yes, 3 kids, CEO, very successful, working for American company, traveling probably 20 days out of a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, with 3 kids, quite old. They're already at universities and one at home. Wife is taking care of the house and he's there at work. Now, in this situation, what would be the drivers for him? What could be? What could be the drivers?
His family, his title, his ego. It can be so many things.
Right.
I don't
but
know if
what
that
is-
man is happy or not right now, but it can be the significance. We have different needs. One of them is significance. So maybe he's doing it for his significance need, which is, I want to be seen, I want to have a great title. Also, it can come from a self-esteem thing, which is very interesting because I work 90% with men. And most of the time, the higher the title, the lower the self-esteem. Why? Because when you put years focusing only in a career, you're defining yourself as a CEO. If that man loses the title of CEO, who is he? Does he know that? Because if he knows that, that's brilliant. He's very happy,
I think
man.
that's what you're talking about. I think it's the self-esteem. I think that's the only, because kids are almost, gone out of the nest.
Yeah.
And then that's the only thing
And that's usually where it comes back. That's where when the kids are out of the house and you're almost getting close to the retirement, you're thinking, what is more now? Like really, what is more? Is it more money? Is it more happiness? Is it more fulfillment? Is it more love? What is more for you? Because usually for that type of people, it's not more money. They have enough money. They're looking for something else. So to answer to your question, what could have been his goal? I don't know. Maybe the goal was to provide or to be very wealthy. But I know that if your goals are not very intentional, meaning that they are only based from external factor, there is always a moment where you will feel that dissatisfaction, that emptiness, unfortunately. That said, of course, money is in every mind. We all want money, but money will give you something else. Is it that it will give your children an education? Is it that it will give you the ability to care for your parents? Is it that it gives you the home and the house that you, dreamed before and you can have a family in? You need to find the why behind the money. If you are able to do that very clearly and you can focus on that while building a good surrounding and a good community, you will be happy and high performing. Very important.
I think you just answered my debate that I had for a long time in my head, because I was always thinking, why don't I care about money? And then now it's not that I don't care about the money. It's the way I frame it. I look at that. What do I want my kids to do? This. So I put the goal there, and then the mean to that goal, the tool to that goal is the money. So it's just the thinking. It's just the other way of thinking about it, right?
And it's interesting that you say that, because when I wanted to quit my job, I had a conversation with my dad. I only called one person. I called him and I told him, Dad, sit down. I need to talk to you for maybe an hour. I'm going to tell you what is in my heart. I want you to listen to me, to not judge. And I told him, I'm not happy. I want to do something else. I'm made for more and I don't care about the money. I really don't right now. He told me, Lucie, don't ever forget, money is a tool. So that's what you said.
Yeah.
Money is a tool. And every entrepreneur knows that anyway. That's the mindset that you need to have to go. So I'm not surprised that for you it's obvious. But it is a tool. If you let it define every move and action that you're doing, you're not going to go that far. And if you do go far, unfortunately, it's not me. It's not only my opinion. This has been proven by a ton of studies that when you reach the point, then you're like, okay, what else? Okay, what else? So it never feeds your void or the thing that you're trying to get. So it is important to add meaning to that money and understand why is it important to you.
So the first thing then I would say, is don't just define how much money you want to make, define what you want to achieve through that, right? So
Yes.
have that is meaningful to you. And it could be self-esteem. You said it could be right providing for the family. It could be 100 things, but not the money alone.
Yes, and I would even add something else to that to make it even more powerful and easier to define. It's who do you want to become? Do you want to become that guy that is always working, never with his kids, always busy, always going out, never present, always complaining about his job and hating his life? Or do you want to become a man that has strong objective but has also a big family next door, a lot of friends, family, whatever it is for you, by the way, man or woman. But who do you want to become? Because that has a lot more meaning than just on a piece of paper, I want to be a CEO. What does that mean, you want to be a CEO? For what reason? Why a CEO, by the way? Like, you need to add more meaning to your goal. That's why we call intention. Putting intention in your goals mean I know where I want to go. For example, I want to be a very successful coach. Okay, why does that matter to you? Did you ever ask yourself, why is it important to you to go on that road or to be a successful entrepreneur? That's super important to understand that and the roots of why you're doing what you're doing. If you do that, on the way of your plan, you're going to feel more fulfilled on the process more than on the destination, which is really key.
Let's put two things. Old mindset, new mindset. We'll define the new mindset a bit later. Do you feel that the old mindset was definitely in my situation, you were defined by your profession? Yeah. To me, is you need to go to school, have good grades, then you go to university, because in our family we all go to university. It was just said at the beginning before I started the school, and then you become whoever. I mean, I was lucky with my parents. They put me in the right on the right track, and then my whole life is definition. Oh, Nina is that.
Exactly. I had the same. You go to school, you work hard, you go to a good university, and then you pick a job where you stay.
Forever.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't leave.
In a career.
You stay. Yeah. And then you build a family, then you have a home, then you have a dog, then you have kids. And then because you have all of that, you're happy. Today is different. That can be happiness for certain people.
Right.
But today there are kids who drop out of school and build businesses. I mean, they're not in that thing. Today, people are looking for growth and for purpose. Today, it's not only about going for a job and just for the money and I just take it and all my life is defined by that job and that's okay. Today, people have more, I would say, hunger for purpose and for having growth in your life. So that's why a lot of people change companies. That's why a lot of people change. So the change in the mindset is that there is still a norm that is there, but it's accepted to be different from the norm. It's okay. There are people who have two jobs. There are people who are employed and have a side hustle. There are people who have a business and then quit their business for 2 years and then go back to business. I mean, there's no real path anymore, as long as it's something that is purposeful to you. I think people crave purpose, meaning, contribution more than ever today.
I want to challenge this a little bit.
Of course.
And we'll find the statistics later because I don't have it in my head. It's about purpose, meaning you feel like it's about being fulfilled. But then when we look at the numbers, which we'll find, they say there's more and more unhappy people in this world.
More burnouts.
Burnouts, depression. Why is that? If a new mindset is about purpose and meaning.
I think because they crave that. I'm not saying they are finding it all the time. They're craving this. The thing is, there's so many distractions out there. You know, the social media.
Yeah.
You look social media, everything looks perfect. You know, like you look at a page, they look like they have such a great life and everything. So I think people are trying and really want to find more purpose. But I also think that's why there's more and more coaching. There's more and more employee training about like discovery and what do you truly want in life, because we haven't been told how to define what do we really want. You can't find purpose in your life if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you want, if you've never really worked and took some time to introspect. So I think we are in the middle where there's this older generation which is all about working hard and only working hard and that's it and I'm satisfied. But they're realizing after a while that actually I'm not happy. And we are with this new generation who is still trying to find the perfect job or something that they really want. They only want to fight for what they like, you know, which is a bit too extreme. time. But this is a bit what we see. Yet they can't figure this out because maybe they don't know how to work hard, or they don't have the same value as what we have before. So it's really a shift, I think, between those two generations. I don't think that a lot of people find their purpose. I don't think that this is like more people find their purpose today. Though I do think that more people suffer because they don't have purpose. Burnout, for example, it's not necessarily due to the number of hours that you're working. It's due to the fact that you do a lot of things that you hate or you don't like. With a lot of pressure. So you can't take it anymore. You just don't like it anymore. But that maybe didn't exist before, because before people were maybe more used to do something for the sake of doing it without even thinking about it.
I think that's the secret.
Yeah.
Think less.
It's maybe, in 2025, I think there's so many opportunities that you can find a job that you actually like. There are some very cool jobs for people who want to travel. Come on, today you can take your phone and become a traveler influencer, like where you go to different places. It does exist. It's not everyone who will do that, but it does exist. Some people gain money by cooking in front of their camera, and they do make a lot of money. So there are different opportunities. I think what is really key today, if you are super ambitious and you're ready to work hard, is to take some time to really figure out what is it that drives you. We talk a lot about passion, right?
Yeah.
And I learned something recently which I found was brilliant, because a lot of people come to me and say, I don't know my passion, like I don't know like this thing that really excites me. And someone told me, think about passion the two ways. You're passionate about something that you love, but you're also passionate by something that you hate. So pick, because there are maybe things that you hate, that you're passionate about talking this, you hate that. Then you can solve the problem and build a business out of this. So passion is not only fluffy, positive, and,
Right.
long
So
things.
maybe I should change from Mastervision, what I really love, to talking about politics, what I really hate. And maybe I'll be a bit...
Maybe.
maybe.
Exactly. And have a political debate on things that you hate.
Yeah, which I hate so much.
But I do think that this is the thing. When it comes to purpose, it's so big. Oh, what is my purpose? We don't even, it's hard, it's difficult. We don't really know, right? But if you focus on yourself for a minute, you really understand who you are as a person and what would really drive you. Don't think about the money. Just think about that.
Yeah.
And then build from that. This is where you're going to really find enjoyment and happiness, for sure.
Yeah. I'd like to ask you, you've said just define who you are. Is there, I'm sure it's a process of defining, but is there anything that we could do tomorrow to define ourselves? An exercise or a question that people could ask themselves to define who they are?
To understand who they are, right?
To understand.
Yeah, what I like to do, it's very simple, but if you're very foggy and you don't really know and you can't really picture what you truly want and like, the first step is introspection. And what I like to do and explain is to do what I call night audits. So night audit is just before you go to bed, you close your eyes and you replay your all day. And you look at the person that you were today. Did you wake up on time or did you postpone the alarm? Did you go to the gym, not go to the gym? Were you angry with your team or were you happy? Were you a good wife, a good husband? Were you a good father? Did you spend time with your kid? Have a look at that. Start being curious of who you are today. That is the first step. When this is very clear to you, you can say, do I like that or not? That's why I asked the question at the beginning of this podcast, who do I want to become? Not really, I like talking to people, so I should be a communication coach. Or, instead of doing this the very old way with the skills, I would say really focus on who do I want to become? Like if you could picture yourself in the future, what type of woman do you want to be? How do you want to react when people are aggressive to you? Do you want to be the kind that is very annoyed and that throw everything? Or do you want to be the kind of person that is respectful? Ask yourself that question. The more you'll ask yourself question and you're curious about yourself, the more you will get the answer. Unfortunately, today, a lot of people think, maybe more the old mindset, that to be happy, there is a spreadsheet. And so you do A, B, C, D, and you know who you are. That's not how it works. The way it works is you're curious about who you are today. And then you start trying to changing and to become who you want to be by changing your life. Meaning tonight you take your wife out for dinner as a surprise. Or tomorrow you go swimming where you didn't swim for 10 years. I don't know. But you have to experience things in order for you to understand better who you are. That's really part of the process, I think.
I definitely want to be a great mother. Yeah, and I feel responsible now. And one day I was laying on the sofa, and thinking, which is not me at all, that I need to do more of. And I got this fear of that I have 2 kids and they will have kids, and then those kids will have kids. And then it's what I put today in them. That's what the next generation will be like. And I felt this kind of responsibility. And I definitely want to be grandmother. I don't want to be grandmother, but I want to be a great mother today. Now, I wake up with this intention, and then the emails start coming. And then the phone starts ringing. And I love my job also. I love my work, right? And then the shift starts. And because I was identified always as Nina is the director. I didn't want to use the word, but that was my identification in the family. Nina is the director, a successful entrepreneur. I was like, okay, I need to answer. And then your day starts. I have intention, but then my day starts. And then I said, okay, tomorrow I'm sure. But what is a good mother also? So, and you get swapped with the day. How do you deal with that?
What happens if you're not a great mother?
That's a very good question. What will happen? I don't want to be not a great. I have such a great mother. I want to be great mother.
I understand that. But what happens if you don't? What happens if you don't spend time with your kid? What will happen? What is the cost?
I think they're not going to be as happy as they could be if I was an amazing mother. Their life maybe would have not. That's a good question. But then they won't get enough love. They won't get enough attention.
What's the impact for you?
For me, impact? Guilt. I think the guilt of that I didn't provide that to my kids. If I see them a teenage life not being careful So I think that's the guilt and the responsibility that I failed as a mother.
Yeah. What? I think this is what is happening a lot in our now when it comes to big shift like this, right? The first thing is understanding what is a great mother to you. Because maybe for you, a great mother is a mother that provides. That is a business owner.
That's
so the
very
first thing is understanding what is a great mother. So what is a great mother for you?
A lot of love, a lot of care, being with the kids, playing with the kids, kissing them, hugging them, putting them to bed, being always there for them.
From 0 to 10, how much are you doing all of that?
I mean, what I've said, I'm trying to do it. That's a good question. I think from 0 to 10, for what I've said, I'm about 9 or 8.
So that's why you're not changing your routine.
I know where it's going to come now. I know what it is. But then I go to school and I see the mothers who they do homeworks with their kids, right? They read all the emails that come from school. And there's about, 50 emails in one semester that come. They know when to do the crafts with them, and I don't do any of them. And then the guilt starts coming, and then I start questioning who is a good mother.
I see.
Now,
so you see, this is what is happening. For you, you are at a 9. You think you're a great mom, but then you start comparing with other people who don't have the same life as you, who don't have a business, who don't have the same goal as you. And then you start feeling guilt based on other people's opinion that don't have the same life as you.
You say?
Right?
That's terrible.
No, that's not terrible. It's just that then you create a certain emotion that actually don't need to be there for you. Because for you said it, you're at 9 out of 10. Why would you change a situation, really, unconsciously? Why would you change a situation where you feel you're at a 9?
Yeah, you're right. Because I think that my daughter doesn't know times table very well. And it's my fault that I don't sit down with her and do it.
But do you want to do it? Is it a definition? Again,
it's a great question. Now I question it. I mean, it's good to know times table.
No, but
I learned it myself.
Some people come to me and say, what is the great decision? What is the decision that I need to make? Who am I to tell you what decision do you need to make? The only thing you have is you and understanding what do you want. Maybe for you, being a great mom means that you're showing your kids that a woman can have a business and she's busy, yet you said that you are doing the things, you are putting them to bed, you are spending time with them, and you are at a 9. So if you are at a 9, why would you want to change?
I'm at the 9 according to my measurement when you ask me. But absolutely, you're right. When I compare and I think what's maybe out there the ideal mother is, and I realize I don't fulfill that. But then who cares, right?
But would you like to be that mom? Would you like to stay at home and answer 50 emails per day and being at every event for the kid? Are you excited by that? Honestly, that's it. So then,
no.
And that's why this is such a great example that you just say, because a lot of people, when it comes to success, do that. It's like if I take my situation now, compared to a lot of people, maybe they'll be like, no, because, she's not making enough money. She has a background at CFO. She could do much more. If I think about this, I'll be like, oh yeah, maybe I'm behind. Maybe I made the wrong decision. I would waste so much time.
Yeah.
But because I know what is the definition for me today of success and of what I want, I don't even have a doubt. I don't care what people think, what they're doing.
Yeah.
Some other entrepreneurs are doing this. Some other women are doing this. I don't care, because I know what it means to me right now, being happy and being successful. This is my definition. And that's why being aligned, being aware of who you are and what you want is key. Because when you know what you want and you go for it, instead of going for the expectation of what should be, happening, when you go for what you want, you're so confident. There is a peace of mind behind all of that is so good.
So do you think in my case, now I understand, I should sit down, take time with myself and write down what is a good mother according to me, how I feel in my heart. Maybe then I should write what is a good, wife, right?
Exactly.
So who is a good wife? I need to figure that out. Thank God I don't have anyone to compare to.
But again, who do you want to become as a mom and as a wife? What type of wife do you want to become? What type of mom do you want to become?
Yeah. Wow, that's a great exercise I'm gonna do. That's for sure. This is amazing. Thank you. Let's very quickly go back a little bit old mindset to new mindset. What do you think, according to you? What is the great mindset to have today? That will help us.
I think being able to pivot fast and to cope with change, meaning you have to be very curious, I think that's all you need. The rest will come. But if you are wasting so much time in overthinking, in not being ready for the change, in wanting, the status quo, you're wasting a lot of time. Nowadays and in the future, mostly with AI, you will have to be able to accept change, to learn constantly, to be able to, be curious about different topics that are coming. So I do think that the new mindset is there's no typical way of making money, because there's a ton of opportunities out there. You can make money literally from being an employee to an entrepreneur to an influencer to reselling. There's a ton of way of making money, but you need to be able to change, to pivot, and to be curious about the situation. I think if you have that, you're 99% ahead of a lot of people already.
So the change. When is the time when I know that it's time to change? Because it's also, I think it's a fine line, because I've seen people changing, and a lot of them, at least they change their descriptions in their LinkedIn profiles. Yesterday they were strategists, today they're this, tomorrow they're, anything, they change. I've noticed every half a year there's a change.
Yeah.
How do I know when is the real change I need to take, or when is just, not enough commitment?
Well, it depends what change. If it's a title on LinkedIn, it's not really a change, right?
But that would be, I would call, if you're a strategist yesterday, and today you're, I don't know, a startup mentor, and tomorrow you're doing, hedge fund something. It's quite a big change, no?
That, yes, but it's so difficult, because that can be an entrepreneur who is trying to do ABCD. I don't know. But when it comes to change your career, from what I understand, is it what you're saying? When is it the time to change your career? I think it's pretty obvious if you've been the last 2 years exhausted, tired, frustrated, and you don't like your job anymore and it's just too much. That's pretty much of a sign. Of course, if when things get difficult, you just leave, no. You need to understand that there is a process and things has to be, difficult. But again, why are people changing left and right and all of that? Because they their purpose and the reason why they're doing what they're doing is not strong enough. So if you know why you're here, if you love finance, for example, and you're in the finance industry and you really want to make it as a finance person in this company, even if it's hard, you're going to stay because your objective will be, I want to be there. This is a down moment. That's fine. I want to be there. But if you're not really sure about what you want and where you're going, of course, the minute there will be an obstacle, you're going to change your direction. So if it's your question, I'm not sure about career-wise, like you need to know where you want to go. Now, there are people who have been now for, 10 years into a role where they don't grow and they don't learn anymore and they want to change. So that's something that could be a signal of, I want to change. Change is not bad. If it's made on purpose, if it's for a reason that you understand, if you just change because it has been 2 weeks of difficulty as an entrepreneur and then you want to change your offer, no, that's not going to be helpful. You have to obviously be intentional with the change.
I think, and that brings me to the very interesting question about Gen Z in particular. I'll tell you from my company, we struggle a lot. I have my head of projects, Maria. She said she's not hiring anyone below 30. And even 30, we tried. It became, I think Gen Z is something 29.
Yeah, I think
29, I mean, these are different people, I would say. There's still old minds that we prefer, but it's a very small percentage. What kind of, as us as leaders, and I know a lot of people from, my approximate age suffer what they suffer truly. We can't understand them. We feel they're not committed. We think they're lazy. We think they're overthinking. Again, I'm not talking about everyone. We have amazing examples also that are great, a bit better than we've ever been at that age. But general consensus is lazy, everything I've noticed. What do we do now with our old mindset to manage those people? And how should we change our mindset? Because we'll have more and more of them.
Yeah. So 2 things here.
Yeah.
First thing, you need to understand them. You need to, these people are not bad people. They grew up in a different framework and in a different society. So the first thing, if you are a leader, is to understand them. What drives them? Maybe that's not the typical raise. Maybe that's not the job. What is really the driver? The second thing that I want to mention, which is a very good example, I think, and I really admire this person. There is a company in Dubai called Trifeed. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a marketing agency. The guy, the owner of this company, might be 35 or around that.
Yeah.
He only hires people who are 20, 22, 24 years old.
Really? Yeah. I need him for a podcast.
He is the biggest marketing agency in Dubai, and he's opening one in Australia. He's really, really big. And we can see on TikTok that all the guys around him, are young guys. And he did such a good job at understanding them and pushing them. They are getting results. They are all getting results. They're all under 30 years old, for sure, the company, and he's making millions. Why this guy is able to do that, where we can struggle to understand the youngest generation? I think, yes, you should interview him, but also I think he understood something very quickly. He changed his mindset and pivot his mindset. He understood that the new generation doesn't work the same way as we do. And as difficult as it is, because we want things to be done our way, we need to understand what drives them so we can inject in them some values that we want to see. Someone who is very driven and very motivated will have the values that you're looking for, which is hard work, dedication, commitment, engagement. All of that will happen if you understand what is the drive of this person and what motivates that person. And if you put yourself in their shoes, maybe they don't want to work in an office. I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe they want to have certain conversation with you. Maybe they want to be close with you. Maybe they want to have a friendly relationship. I don't know what is in their mind. Everyone is different. But what I do know is when you want to influence people, which is what you want to do when you're in a leadership position and you want people to be committed to your company, when you want to influence someone, you need to understand them. It's like a sales call. When you want to sell, you need to be in the shoes of the person in front of you, knowing exactly how you can help and exactly what they are going through. That's the same with your employee. And you can stay in the mindset of this new generation, it's not working, whatever. The problem is the more you're going to grow, the more you will hire young people, and at least people from that generation will grow. So you have two choices. Either you stay in that mindset and you think it's impossible, it's complicated, let's not hire them, or you take advantage of your leadership skills and you actually try to understand them and build a framework that could make them happy. I'm sure these guys have a lot to offer and I understand the challenge, but if you do take some moment to build a framework and the way that they can grow and feel what they need to feel, they can go super fast because they have a lot of skills as well, I'm telling you, this guy is 3 feet or something
I'm sure he has a lot of gray hair now at 30
Not
years.
really. But it would be a good topic to ask him. I don't know.
I think it is. I consider myself an empathetic leader. Even I don't have nerves for it. So I've made it very easy. I have an amazing person, Maria. She's watching. She's the head of projects. She's responsible for that. But Maria said that's it. She gives up. So it was a great lesson for her. Now to
try to be in their shoes. Please, ask them questions.
Mash, be in their shoes, okay? Understand that they don't want to wake up at 7 a.m.
They don't want to work.
They're okay to just leave and say, sorry, I had a panic attack. I don't want to continue. That's fine. That's
so
the
extreme.
recent examples we have. It's just unbelievable.
It is a challenge. It is a big challenge. I hear that a lot. And I think, again, it's really about, do you want to take responsibility and be like, okay, let's face the problem. What is happening? And what is, why is this woman just having a panic attack because she didn't have water this morning,
That's the scary part. It's not even the woman. Got panic attack reading messages in the...
But we have to understand. We have to, our role.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that, unfortunately for your business, it's going to be very damaging because they are going to grow. And these people in 5 years, they're going to be 35 and there will be people who know the technology, who know how to use certain tools. So you will want them. So instead of giving up,
absolutely,
trying to figure out what do they want and trying to work with them in that sense. That's the only thing you can do. So a lot of empathy, yes, but emotional intelligence and work on your influence. If you have a good charisma, if you're someone they look up to, and if you know how to talk to them and understand their needs, you can influence them in a good way.
Excellent. I think this is a very interesting topic also, maybe to have a discussion, right? And bring some of them.
Yes, of course, and ask. That could be interesting.
What's going on?
Maybe you can ask them, what do you feel about this generation? How do they work, and why don't you like it? Why is that stressful for you? Maybe they'll tell you, because we have to be on time at 9 a.m. and it's not nice, or it's so boring. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's all. Excellent. Tell me, please, Lucie, what do I need to... I understand. So I think this is an absolutely great point to look at this type of challenge and other challenges from the idea of, okay, understand, think about it, accept it rather than reject it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us live in a lot of rejections today, generations, technology, right? That whole AI thing that is a non-stop discussion. Some people just reject it. Social media also, some people just completely reject it, but we probably cannot. That's the future anyway. Now, how can we maybe, let's say I'm ready to change my old mindset, right? And I'm ready for the new. What do I do?
You're ready for the new.
Maybe I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
Then curiosity, solve the problem. Solve the problem. There is a problem. It's not about blaming the situation. It's about how can I change the situation or how can I solve the problem.
Right.
So be a problem solver in everything. Yes, AI is here. Some people are saying, I don't want AI, it's terrible. You can choose that, but then you're not going to keep up with people who actually accept AI. So who do you want to be? Do you want to be the person that is behind again, or do you want to be the person that actually has that mindset and go and grow and become more successful? So solve the problem. Be brutally honest with yourself. Take ownership about what's happening. It's not about blaming other people. It's about, I'm the leader of the company. This is in my hand, what is happening there. If I'm not able to bring that person to here, it's my fault. And that's very important. Take ownership. Your life, your team, it's all because of your mindset and the way you do things. This is your fault. A lot of people would have, oh, this is because
Of course, it's
of this, I'm never lucky, and this is AI is taking my job. Then stop your job and learn something new. But this is in your hand. So I think we are very we have that childish type of mentality of your victim mentality of taking things that are happening and blaming everything around. If you want to get to the next level and if you want to have the new mindset, it's not about being the victim or blaming ABCD. It's about taking the problem. How do I solve the problem? Being curious about it and just pivot. Do it fast. Not blaming. Find the solution. Find all the time a solution to the problem.
I'd like to ask you your personal routine to stay in that new mindset, positive, to stay away from burnouts. What do you do?
Yeah, first of all, I choose what I do. Very important. I choose with intention. Sometimes there are hard decisions. Sometimes I would refuse a project because it's not aligned with me. So yes, you say no to a lot of money, but it's not aligned with you. So choosing is very important, mostly when it comes to big life decision. That already removes 90% of the problem, to be very honest. If you have this ability to do that, that's this. Now, what happens if I get in a day where I'm tired and I don't really want and it's difficult and I get the negativity? Usually, it's only my technique. I really talk to myself and to my mind. And I'm like, come on, Lucie, that's not what we want to be. Who do you want to become? Remember what I told you.
I have goosebumps when you say that. That's
really?
Great. Yes.
It is true. I'm like, who do you want to become? Do you want to become that person that is there and crying and negative all the time? Or do you want to be the person that solves the problem? I'm not saying avoid negative emotions. That's not true. But when they are here, I listen to it. I learn the lesson. I'm like, okay, that's true. I'm listening and I'm learning the lesson. But then I shift. I shift very fast. That's what I do. But additionally to all of that and to the routine, I do things that I love. And that's simple.
What do you do?
I go to the gym. I write songs. I sing. I dance. I go and see my friends. I meet new people. Sometimes I read a book. Sometimes I meditate. Who cares? There's no playbook, right? But I do things that I love. Sometimes I will cook a cake on a Tuesday night. Who cares? Because I want to do that.
And you eat it in the night?
Yes, I do. Not all the night. But what I mean is, my God, we need to live a bit. We take these things so seriously. How can you make great decisions for yourself and become the person that you want to become? If you're like this and everything is terrible, AI is bad and everyone is terrible and I need to work and I need to make money, how can you live and actually make great decisions? You can't. So my advice is live a bit. Live a bit. Do things that you enjoy, that you truly enjoy, not because you have to do it. Just take a day off. I don't know. Come early at home at 4 p.m. and just go to the beach and sleep all evening. I don't know. Go outside with your wife, your husband. Bring your kid to ski. I have no idea.
Oh, on Tuesday and sleep on the beaches sounds very exciting.
We don't do. We tend to forget that. I would love to come with a very well-done formula, framework, whatever. But what I have noticed with time and with the people that I work with, that what makes the most difference is small moments where you actually live. If you look at a routine of any high performer today, the week is all about waking up, dealing with the kid, breakfast, work, late, eat, Netflix, sleep. And that's it, all the time. If you do that constantly and if it's all the time your routine, you don't have any moment where you actually live a bit your life. And it's not about, I have a lot of time in my week. That has nothing to do with time. It can be a great conversation at lunch with a friend for an hour. It can be as simple as that. But of course, you need to have activities like that outside your work. If you only work and if you only do things that are not really exciting, it's going to be difficult to be in that mindset and to be curious, of course, because you won't have the mental space.
No, this is beautiful. Live your life. And I was interesting, coincidentally, I was thinking today, last week I've tried it. On Friday, I bought a philosophy book. I sat in the coffee shop and I read for 3 hours on Friday, when it's a high performance, high active working day. And I enjoyed so much.
And what changed? Did you lose business?
Nothing. I didn't lose anything. That's the thing. Maybe I did. but I didn't know about it.
But that's the lesson here, right?
And this is today morning. I was thinking, I can't wait for Friday because that's exactly what I'm gonna do this Friday. I'm going to read my book.
Simple things, but we tend to forget them. We think like, oh my God, I need to be on all the time. And if I don't do something productive, everything is going to fall apart. Like, no. And by the way, the higher you are, the more time like this you should have, because then you have people and you delegate and you are only the creator and the strategist. And to build a strategy, you need mental
I need
space.
clear. Yeah, this is 100%. One more question before the last question. How many hours a day should I work?
Oh, there's no that question.
I wish you say 4.
No, there's no right answer here. However, if you're working 12 hours a day for the last 5 years, maybe there is a problem, because you should be able to delegate at some point. Now, there's 2 different types of people, entrepreneurs and employees, okay? When it comes to entrepreneurship, there is a moment where you have to do the work, but it shouldn't be constant. Maybe at the beginning of your business, I understand that 100%, but then at some point you need to scale. At some point you need to delegate. At some point you need to be surrounded by people who actually do better work than you, so you can, again, be the strategist if you have a business. If you are employed, I understand that there are maybe jobs where you need to do operating tasks, but if you are at a point where you're C-suite exec, I would say, and above, you should have a time in your day to reflect and to manage people and to think about the strategy. So if you're always doing operating things, there is a problem here at that level. So there's no perfect timing. There are people who are working 2 hours a day and they're making a ton of money. There are people who are working 10 hours a day and they're just making a salary. That's really about how you use the technology, the system, and the people around you to make it work for you. But ideally, the goal would be to work as few hours as you can and to get the maximum result. You can do that with technology today. You can. It is possible. But I understand that it takes a bit of time. But please get some time for yourself, right? Because that's so important. Mostly if you have to write a business. Yeah, of course.
Friday, I'll read my book.
You have to share that. So as a proof.
Okay. The last question I always ask my guests now, if you could have one superpower today, what would that be?
Oh, that's a good one.
And I didn't tell you that on purpose because I want to know how you feel exactly in the moment.
Honestly, I will tell you a little secret. I hate flying.
Like me.
I'm so scared.
Are you scared?
Yes.
Me too. I'm so scared.
I'm so scared. But sometimes I think it's like the universe or God that is sending me that, so I don't travel too much everywhere in the world.
I had that before, but then I have a secret how to do it. I'll tell you. Multiple.
I want to know. But I think if I would have a superpower, it would be that maybe right now, to not be scared of flying anymore. That sounds very stupid for a lot of people who are not scared.
No, I'm with you on this. Because then I would go to America tomorrow.
I would do so much more things. So I think that would be the ability to enjoy flying as much as I can, so I can travel without fear. I do travel because I have with my work anyway.
You don't have a choice.
No, I don't have a choice, but it is like a big thing. So I think that would be my superpower at the moment, because I'm thinking a lot about flying. So
my secret I decided to share. I've learned it from the lady who does my nails, because she has the same issue. I have cognac in my bag.
Last time I only had champagne. I never drink. Last time I went on the plane, I had champagne all the way. I didn't even eat because it helps. Yeah.
Yeah, I have. She said you buy a bottle small, because I tried to go for a small one, of course, in the duty free. Then, because the secret, you sit down, you fasten your seatbelt, and this is when they're not going to serve you. Maybe if you fly business class, and it depends on the destination, so they bring champagne.
They do in business, yeah.
Yes, but sometimes it's not when it's needed. So you say, the minute you fasten your seatbelt, I have a shot, I put it, and then it goes okay. And then what's good with cognac, it sort of balances you. So a little bit scary, you take a little bit, you take...
I'm not
Really,
sure if it's a good
mind-blow-
advice.
Great. That's why I want to say it off the camera, but I'm sure a lot of people are
Relate.
relate.
Yeah, listen.
But of course, not the right way to go to business trip to Saudi Arabia.
No, to anywhere.
No,
because if you
that's-
arrive like that, no way.
The rest
no
is
way.
just the mind work and prayers.
Prayers, mind work. But there are some techniques, right?
Yeah.
I've tried hypnotherapy and all of that. But I think it is a phobia, so it will
It
always
is a
be
phobia.
there. Yeah.
I've done air phobia. Many years
And it doesn't go away. Some of the person that I know told me that when you're very ambitious, driven, you have that hunger inside you. But here in the plane, you can't really. You just have to let go. You can't really control anything, and that's something that for people who are very ambitious, they're scared. They're so scared of failing even in their subconscious.
yeah.
That's why it happened. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I heard.
And my dad is a flight engineer. And that's how, I think it's I don't know what
He
it
could
is.
reassure you, no?
No, he always loves you. I don't think he believes fully that I'm so scared.
It's
I'm the
terrible.
one-
It's a terrible fear.
Thank you so much, Lucie. What
Thank
a
you,
great
Nina.
conversation. Thanks a lot. I have a lot of things to do after this. Writing who am I as a mother and really thinking about a lot of what we've discussed.
Who do you want to become? That's the most important
who
question
do I
in
want to
life.
become?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, good. Oh, thank you so much. Was it fun?